The previous movie talked about how corrosion is caused or sped up. Now we're going to talk about how we prevent corrosion. We group them into 4 general categories. First one is called active metal contact. What that means is that 2 metals are in direct contact with each other, they're touching. The more active metal always corrodes. Now, in the previous movie, we talked about how that was a problem because it increased the corrosion of that more active metal. Well, now we're saying that if you do that, the less active metal will not corrode. It's also known as sacrificial metal because we sacrifice the active metal in order to save the less active metal. We use this anywhere that electric sparks are problems, like gasoline tanks, pipelines, anything like this where we're worried about combustion. Moving on with the second one now. So our next one uses the idea of a coating. Coatings cover the metal so it can't come in contact with water or possibly the oxygen gas. These are things we're pretty familiar with, things like paint, plastic, wax, rubber. All these things physically block contact between the metal and the water and the oxygen. We use it in cars, we use it in buildings, we use it on tools, all kinds of places. We're quite familiar with this version. However, galvanizing is something that most of us are not familiar with. Galvanizing is a version of a coating where we're coating specifically with zinc metal. The coating itself, zinc, stops corrosion because the zinc oxide protects the underlying metal because it sticks closely. So unlike iron, when it corrodes, it rusts and flakes off, the zinc oxide sticks pretty well. So by itself, that's a good coating. Having said that, if, however, the material gets scratched all the way down to the underlying material, which is typically iron, the zinc is more active than the iron and therefore works as a sacrificial metal, like we saw in the previous example. So galvanizing is 2 different protective methods all in one step. Moving on to number 3 now. So number 3 is called an alloy. Alloys are mixtures of metals in some desired ratio, and because they're metals, they can be molded in any proportion we wish to gain the properties of several different metals all in one mixture, and by changing the ratio we get different properties, and by changing the metals in the mix we get different properties. We know that iron rusts fairly easily. However, steel typically has about 1% carbon, which slows the rusting and makes the iron stronger. Stainless steel has a mixture of both nickel added for durability and chrome added for shiny. Surgical stainless steel has the chrome, but no nickel because some people have allergies to the nickel. Most modern materials are actually alloys. So bronze, a mixture of copper and tin, brass, which is copper and zinc, 10-14 karat gold has typically gold mixed with copper, or if it's like my wedding band, it's white gold, which means it's gold with nickel. Sterling silver is 92.5% silver with a little bit of something else thrown in. So most materials we use are in fact alloys. So our last method is an impressed current. What that means is that we are actually passing a low voltage, low amperage current through the metal. So we're electrifying the piece of metal. The current provides the electrons to the other materials, so the metal that we're passing the electric current through does not get oxidized. Electric fences are using this technology quite well. They're small pieces of metal, they're outdoors exposed to the weather, but they tend not to corrode very quickly because of the electricity going through them. And animals are smart enough to learn that after they touch the thing a couple of times, it hurts, and therefore they stop doing it. So we have 4 methods. First, we have our sacrificial metal, we have coatings, we have alloys or mixtures of metals for the desired property, and impressed current if we happen to have that available to us. Thanks for watching.